Was gripped by the mysterious disappearance of 3 police constables, 2 women and 1 man who vanished while travelling from Bloemfontein to Limpopo. Their last known location was near the Gasmere toll plaza, and with their phones and vehicle tracker offline, authorities suspect possible hijacking or kidnapping. The SAPS has launched a high-priority investigation mobilising detectives and crime intelligence units. This case raises urgent questions about the safety of law enforcement officers, criminal syndicates, boldness and the effectiveness of police response systems.
The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the Free State as 3 young constables prepared for their journey. Keamogetswe Buys, a 30-year-old woman with a determined spirit, settled into the driver's seat of the white VW Polo sedan, registration number JCL401FS. Beside her sat Boipelo Senoge, just 20 years old, her youthful energy a stark contrast to the grim task that awaited them in Limpopo. In the back, Cebekhulu Linda, a 24-year-old male officer, made sure his belongings were secure. It was Wednesday, April 23, 2025, and the 3 off-duty SAPS members were traveling from Bloemfontein to their designated deployment area. No one had a clue this ride would turn into a total nightmare. Their route took them north, towards Gauteng. Their last known location was the bustling Engen garage at the Gasmere toll plaza along the N1 highway, a major artery connecting the heart of South Africa. As they continued their journey, something went terribly wrong. The familiar signals from their vehicle tracking device and their cellular phones abruptly ceased. The silence that followed their last known stop was deafening, triggering immediate alarm within the South African Police Service. Days turned into nights, filled with mounting anxiety. By Thursday, April 24th, the families of Keamogetswe, Boipelo, and Cebekhulu grew increasingly worried as their calls went unanswered. The vibrant connection they once had with their loved ones had been inexplicably severed. The news of the missing officers rippled through the SAPS, prompting an immediate and extensive response. A high-level team of seasoned detectives and sharp-witted crime intelligence operatives from both Gauteng and the Free State provinces was swiftly assembled and mobilized. Their mission was clear: find the missing constables. The search operations were vast and relentless, stretching across the provinces of Gauteng, Free State, and Limpopo. Investigators meticulously combed the route the officers were expected to take, their eyes scanning every detail, every potential clue. National Police Commissioner General Fannie Masemola himself took a personal interest in the case, recognizing the gravity of the situation. He met with the dedicated investigating team, his face etched with concern, and then with the distraught families, offering words of reassurance in the face of their unimaginable fear. In a move to galvanize public support, General Masemola announced a reward of 350,000 rand for any information leading to the safe return of the officers.
Police are offering a 350,000 rand reward for information on the disappearance of 3 of their members. Constables Cebekhulu Linda, Keamogetswe Buys, as well as Boipelo Senoge, were traveling from Bloemfontein to Limpopo, where they'd been deployed when they went missing. They was last seen at the petrol station near the Gasmere toll plaza on the N1 on Wednesday morning. Now, their car tracking device and cell phones are still off.
Public appeals were broadcast, urging anyone who might have seen the white VW Polo or had any knowledge of the constable's whereabouts to come forward. The initial theory was grim: hijacking. The sudden disappearance, coupled with the disabling of tracking devices and cell phones, painted a disturbing picture. The possibility of foul play hung heavy in the air, casting a pall over the frantic search efforts. Then on Monday, April 29th, a chilling discovery was made near the Hennops River in Centurion, Gauteng. Scattered along the N1 highway, investigators found parts of a vehicle, fragments of metal and plastic that bore a striking resemblance to the missing white VW Polo. A closer inspection revealed a damaged guardrail on the N1 bridge that spanned the Hennops River, just past the Brakfontein interchange. The mangled metal suggested a violent impact, a potential turning point in the unfolding mystery. Nearby, on the riverbank, another vehicle was found, a Renault Kangoo panel van. It was later identified as belonging to an administration clerk from the Littleton police station. The presence of this second vehicle added another layer of complexity to the already perplexing situation. As the day wore on, divers from the South African Police Service and the Tshwane Metropolitan Police Department plunged into the murky waters of the Hennops River. The initial search yielded a heartbreaking discovery: the bodies of two individuals. One was identified as Constable Cebekhulu Linda. The other was the driver of the Renault van, the police administration clerk. Darkness descended, forcing a temporary halt to the grim task. The search resumed with the first light of Tuesday, April 30th. The divers returned to the river, their hopes dwindling with each passing hour. This time, their efforts brought to the surface the bodies of the remaining two missing constables, Boipelo Senoge and Keamogetswe Buys. But the river held one more tragic secret. A fifth body, in a state of advanced decomposition, was also found. The identity of this individual remained unknown, adding another layer of sorrow to the already devastating discoveries. Finally, on Thursday, the white VW Polo sedan that the officers had been traveling in was recovered from the depths of the Hennops River. The news spread like wildfire, confirming the worst fears of the families. They were brought to the mortuary, where the agonizing task of identifying their loved ones was carried out. The rapid transition from a missing persons case to the discovery of multiple bodies in such a short time frame pointed to a significant and tragic incident. The presence of the police admin clerk's body alongside the officers fueled questions about a possible connection, a shared tragedy in the cold waters of the Hennops River. The Hennops River, flowing through Centurion in Gauteng, near the busy N1 highway in Pretoria, became the focal point of the investigation. The divers had navigated the challenging currents, finding the bodies dispersed along different stretches of the river. The decomposed state of the fifth body suggested a separate, earlier tragedy, unrelated to the officers and the clerk. The recovery of the VW Polo offered a glimmer of hope for understanding what had transpired. Initial observations hinted that the vehicle might have overturned before crashing into the barrier and plunging into the water. The river, while potentially washing away some evidence, might have also preserved the bodies for a longer period. The fact that they were found at different locations indicated the river's current played a role in their final resting places. The South African Police Service launched a high-level investigation the moment the constables were reported missing. The initial suspicion of hijacking gave way to a focus on a possible traffic accident as vehicle parts and the damaged guardrail were found near the Hennops River. National Police Commissioner General Fannie Masemola, addressing the media, offered a preliminary assessment. At this stage, it looks like an accident. However, he stressed that a thorough forensic investigation was crucial before any definitive conclusions could be reached. The recovered VW Polo was considered a key piece of evidence, holding the potential to reveal the truth. Despite the initial indications, police officials remained cautious, emphasizing that no possibilities would be ruled out until all evidence was meticulously analyzed. In line with protocol for suspected accidental deaths, a case of culpable homicide was opened. The investigation also extended to the deaths of the police administration clerk and the unidentified individual. The initial consideration of hijacking highlighted the inherent dangers faced by law enforcement in South Africa. The shift towards a possible accident underscored the importance of physical evidence in guiding an investigation. The damaged guardrail served as a crucial piece of information that prompted investigators to explore alternative explanations. The ongoing investigation and the cautious approach of the police commissioner demonstrated the commitment to a thorough and unbiased examination of all available evidence. The confirmation of the deaths brought an outpouring of grief and a wave of reactions. National Police Commissioner General Fannie Masemola expressed his profound sorrow, extending heartfelt condolences to the families and the entire SAPS. Just days before, when the officers were still missing, his tone had been firm, warning those who might be responsible for a potential kidnapping. Now faced with the tragic reality, He emphasized the need for a comprehensive investigation and urged against speculation. Devastated loved ones gathered at the banks of the Hennops River, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames of candlelight vigils held in remembrance. Before the discovery, family members had made tearful public appeals for their safe return, their voices filled with desperation. The Free State Police announced that official funerals would be held for the 3 constables in the following week, a testament to their service. A memorial service was also planned in Bloemfontein, providing a space for colleagues, friends, and the community to pay their respects. The search and the subsequent discoveries had captivated the attention of the South African public, with many expressing their condolences and offering prayers through social media. The initial strong stance of the police commissioner reflected the SAPS's unwavering commitment to the safety of its officers. The later emphasis on investigation highlighted the importance of relying on facts. The public's support in the emotional gatherings underscored the profound human cost of this tragedy. The 3 constables, Keamogetswe Buys, Boipelo Senoge, and Cebekhulu Linda, were traveling together in the white VW Polo on that fateful Wednesday. They were off duty, making their way from Bloemfontein to their deployment area in Limpopo. Notably, Constables Buys and Linda were reportedly attached to the Free State Crime Intelligence Unit and were on special duty in Limpopo, while the youngest, Senoge, served at the Park Road Police Station in the Community Service Center. The discovery of the police administration clerk's body nearby sparked questions about a possible connection, though authorities initially stated no direct link had been established. The decomposed state of the 5th body strongly suggested it was unrelated. This tragedy unfolded against the backdrop of ongoing crime and violence in South Africa. While the evidence pointed towards an accident, South Africa's history includes instances of missing police officers linked to different forms of violence. The involvement of 2 officers in crime intelligence might have initially raised concerns about a targeted attack. However, the emerging evidence leaned towards a traffic accident, though investigators remained open to all possibilities. The unrelated 5th body served as a stark reminder of other potential dangers in the area surrounding the Hennops River. While past disappearances of police officers often had different underlying causes, this incident appeared to be a more immediate and potentially accidental tragedy. The story of Constables Keamogetswe Buys, Boipelo Senoge, and Cebekhulu Linda ended in profound tragedy with the discovery of their bodies in the Hennops River. The journey that began with hope in Bloemfontein concluded with sorrow in Centurion. The investigation by the SAPS continues, focused on the recovered VW Polo to piece together the final moments of their lives. The discovery of the police administration clerk and the unidentified individual adds further layers to this complex and heartbreaking event. The impact of this loss reverberates through the families, the police service, and the nation. While the initial assessment points to a possible accident, the full truth awaits the outcome of the forensic investigation. This incident serves as a poignant reminder of the dedication and the inherent risks faced by those who serve and protect.